when I was sleeping, so it's like a single bed next to a doorway, and there was like a bit of light coming through the doorway. When I woke up in the middle of the night, and I could see in my peripheral vision at the end of the bed like a tall, dark figure, like man sort of thing, but it was in my peripheral vision. And then when I turned to face what it was, or to look further, I all of a sudden was held, like pinned down in my bed, like on my chest and my head, like pinned to the side, so I couldn't actually look at what it was. When I screamed out, "Leave me alone," all of a sudden it disappeared.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Prince Rara here, and you are listening and watching the Discharge podcast. Thank you guys for joining me on the show today. How are you guys going?
Very good.
We are good. We're very, very good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
of course.
excited.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry, I have no idea what the hell I just wrote, and I can't even blame anybody but my damn self for that. So, what's going on, guys? How are you guys?
Hello.
Good.
We're
Hi.
good. We're good.
Bit nervous, but...
A bit nervous.
Hey.
Really? You just saw my fuck up just then. What do you mean, a bit nervous?
You seem like a natural. We don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, paranormal.
But that's all to come with us as well, especially me.
Yeah.
So I'll cover you up. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I
That's
appreciate
you're
that. Now, you know what? We actually have got callers already wanting to ask questions, which is really great. And I think you guys said that you guys are ready for people to call in, even if they were skeptics about what you guys do and all that kind of jazz. You guys were just ready to just go all in and just answer these questions willy-nilly, whatever.
Yep.
As best we can.
Yeah.
As best we can. Okay, that's amazing. Now, before we do that, though, I want people to know, like, who are you guys and how did Paranormaltox come together, and how did you guys come together? So it's a bit of a triple question there.
Yeah, so Paranormaltox started back, I'm going to say September 2025. It was just an idea that I wanted to start covering scary stories on the internet. It wasn't really about paranormal at that stage. And then the idea came up with some friends that were going to go on a ghost hunt. And then that's where I met James. And then since then, I've invited James along to all the other ghost hunting we've been doing. I've had a history with content creation, that sort of thing, doing gaming. And yeah, recording, in real life videos is something I've wanted to do for a long time. So it was just a perfect opportunity to find a niche that I'm very interested in and then kind of expand on that. Yeah.
And then for yourself, James?
Well, I've been doing paranormal things for, a long, long time. I won't put a number on the years, but a long time. I've never really professionally done it, but I've always been interested in going to places and finding out what's there. I do possess a small gift of being able to sense spirit and communicate with spirit. So I've always had that all of my life, so that's always pulled me into that direction. And then meeting Caleb kind of opened that avenues and possibilities to more, and I've just kind of jumped on that wagon because now I can finally meet my people and not feel like a weirdo. There's other people with the same weird things as me, so it's good. Yeah.
So Paranormaltox is a duo at this stage.
At this stage, yeah.
Okay.
So initially it was just me, just a solo thing. And then ever since we started inviting like James along to more adventures, there's other members that come with us, but they're not necessarily in Paranormaltox. They're just kind of guests that we invite along. And yeah, we're just becoming friends with them over time because they're weird like us, I guess.
Yeah. And to be fair as well, we started off, obviously, as he said, we were both solo projects, and I was happy to be a solo project. And I think it just got to the point where we had so much going on and the same ideas and the same things that we wanted to pursue, and it was just might as well just marry them together.
Perfect. Now, I've got two callers actually on the line, and they want to ask you guys some questions. Now, I don't exactly know what people are going to actually ask, but here we go, and let's accept this call. Hey, caller, you've called into the Discharge podcast. My name is Prince Rara. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. No worries. And caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Brittany, and I'm calling from Hammersley.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Hello, Brittany.
Hello, Brittany.
Now, I've got James and Caleb here. And obviously, you've called in for this episode for the Paranormaltox. And these guys, are obviously, they would deal with all types of things, like spiritual, I guess. Now, can you ask them a question that you've been dying to know about, I don't know, anything paranormal?
Things about like toys going off for no reason at all.
Right. So could you tell us like a little bit more about it? So what had happened and how long ago was it? What did you experience?
Well, everybody in the house experiences it. In our lounge room, toys will just start going off even when they've not been touched, but you have to touch a button for the music to play. I've seen a ball roll across the room before. Just random stuff like that, always in the lounge room.
Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, we have a lot of devices that we use when we go on our ghost hunting expeditions that you touch them, they light up, that sort of thing. So seeing toys like that light up in a house, that's very scary, especially for if you have a young family as well.
It's usually at night as well.
Wow. Yeah. Do you know much history of your house at all? Do you know the origins of it, or is it something that you built?
No, we didn't build it. It's a 1970s house.
Okay.
But I don't know much about it. But I think it's my partner's father that hangs around the house.
Okay, so when you said that, we had James. He was like, his eyes were very close shut, and then as soon as you said that was your partner's father, he started nodding like he was believing that was true. James, could you tell us what you experienced just then?
Yeah, so just having a quick hear of your voice and everything, I kind of slightly connected into your space, and I had the image of a man, and the man was playing with the toys and smiling and laughing. It's good that you've said who it is, because I wasn't entirely sure who it was, but the energy that I'm picking up on is someone who is not malicious and enjoys being there, and it's just something that I think you're going to kind of have to put up with for now. But it's his way of saying that I am here and you've got nothing to worry about, kind of thing. That's the sense that I'm getting.
Yeah. Because we don't usually feel like scared or anything when little things happen.
Wow.
Have you ever tried talking to the spirit or asking out?
No, but it does make me think of him when certain things have happened, when my little one sort of randomly will look. He's very sensitive to things, and he will look randomly in a corner of the room sometimes, and it makes me think of his grandfather.
Yeah, that's definitely validation when it comes from a young child or even a pet because they can see things that we can't see. So I would definitely take that as validation that a good spirit is there. And I think going forward, you should reach out and just say, hello, I know you're there. Thanks for being here. Just acknowledge his presence. I feel like that's kind of just what he wants.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Was that it, caller?
Yeah, that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the phone
Thank
call.
you.
You have a good night.
Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Okay, let me go into the next call.
That was weird.
You said you felt something at the back of your head? Like, what did you say?
No, like it was something in my head. I could see. I can never usually do it like that, but that was really strong.
Oh, really?
That was really strong. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So do some people have to be more
It has usually have to be like this.
Okay.
And I have to build myself up for it.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's different. Oh, hello. Hey, caller. This is the Discharge podcast. You gave us a call, but the lines were so busy, so we just had to have you on hold here. But I've got Caleb and James here from Paranormaltox. You called in for a question. What would you like to ask the guys?
Oh, hello. How are you? My name's Sebastian Buchanan. I've just got an interesting story about something that happened to me when I was over in Europe, and I just want to see what you guys think about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, what happened?
Okay, so when I went over to Munich, I went to a concentration camp, and I was videotaping my whole trip around Europe. And then as I was on the bus, I was videotaping, I got up there, and the whole time I was walking around, as you can imagine, it was a really strange, really kind of scary feeling. Anyway, I was filming the whole thing, and then I got back on the bus. And then later on when I got back, I looked at the footage on my camera, and I swear, as I was looking, everything I saw was recorded. But the moment I walked through those gates, until the moment I left, all the footage was just completely like grainy. It went all white and fuzzy, and there was just this really like high pitched kind of whistling sound coming out of the camera. And then, and this is like this is like in 2008, so it's like an old school JVC. And then as I got on the bus again, about 10 minutes later, then the picture came back into focus again. And like, I've got like evidence of this, but everyone thinks it's like not credible. And I'm just wondering, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
I mean, that is very interesting. It can all depend on, as you say, if it was, camera malfunctions, or if it was actually something paranormal. That would be something that we as a team would have to have a look at and give our expertise. But in saying that, spirit can manipulate. We've had it lots of times where we record something pretty phenomenal and it's not there because spirit has decided that they don't want you to see it. So it can be very... I need to take over.
Yeah, I mean, with our camera gear, sometimes the camera will stop recording. Sometimes it will be all fuzzy and grainy, like you said. We have a lot of audio issues with some of our like clips and stuff, and I'll come away from like something that we do and I'm like, wow, that was 100% something spiritual there. That we were talking to a spirit. I'll go and look later, and then the footage will either be grainy or there'll be like static, and we can't actually hear ourselves. So yeah, that happens quite often, and we have to try and like edit it to make our voices come through. Or a lot of the time, it's just a wasted clip, and we have to either just post it how it is, or don't show it. But yeah, it sounds really interesting, especially in that area.
Yeah,
and like, I'm normally pretty skeptical of that kind of thing when I see when I hear about that. But when it actually happened to me, that's when it made me think, okay, something real strange is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially in a place like that where a lot of death would have taken place, there could be a lot of high energy from the spirits there. Like they might have just wanted privacy, and they might not want you to show anything. So it's
like walking into a pressure cooker type environment where there's so much sorrow and so much pain that it can really affect camera equipment, because they use that energy as well from a camera equipment, that kind of thing also. But especially in a place like that, I would be... Yeah, I don't like talking about those types of places. Yeah. But yeah.
I know. It was over the sorrow, like you say, sorrowful. Sorrowful was definitely the word for it. It's just like overwhelming. It was such a cold, sad feeling.
Yeah. But see, like, my question is, why would a spirit or any of those types of energies stick around in an abandoned place, or a place that's frequented by like tourists and stuff like that? What would their purpose be in hanging out in a space like that? I would imagine that, like, being in a home or in a busy place like this, like, because there's energies that's bouncing off from people that are walking in and out. But like an abandoned place, like, that doesn't make sense to me.
The spectrum of it is so large, because in some cases, and especially in cases like this, they're trapped. So when you die, unfortunately, when you die in a horrific way, and sometimes they don't realize they have actually died, then they continue living their astral lives as if they were still living. So they're just under the assumption they can go around doing their daily thing, and they assume that, they don't see you, but they assume they're going about their daily thing, when in fact they've died. Or you have people who like to stay where they are, like you say, like houses, because they enjoyed it so much. Or it's just time dilation, which is another topic. But it is literally, the spectrum is so large. It may not necessarily be an abandoned building for them, but for us it is, if that makes sense.
Caller, is there any more questions that you would like to ask the guys?
Well, I've got so many questions, but do you have time?
I mean, have you guys got some time?
Yeah, if you've got another question, fire
all right,
away.
go for it.
Okay, another story I heard from like my ex-girlfriend was about how Apple Maps can capture spirits. So one day she was talking to a friend on Skype, and it was her cousin in Malaysia, and then she was talking to her, and then she said, "You should tell your maid to get back to work," because she's just been standing like eavesdropping this whole conversation. And the lady goes, "I don't have a maid." And she goes, "Well, there's a lady standing right behind you." And and she goes, "Well, that's impossible. There's no one there." And then apparently they went to like a seance or something over there, and it was connected to some story where the lady behind her had gone out to like buy a dress at a clothes store in Malaysia, but she got hit by a bus. And then my ex's cousin went and bought that same dress, and then that's why the spirit had followed her back home and had been like living with her ever since. And then apparently she was instructed to burn the red dress, and then the spirit would leave the house and be in peace. Does that story seem? Is that credible, or what do you guys think about that?
I mean, if you look at a lot of the like horror movies and stuff where they have the dolls and things that are haunted, a lot of those come from real life items. So there's a lot of possession, and spirits can cling to certain items. If that dress was important enough to the lady that died either in the dress or had the dress, then yeah, I assume so.
Wow, okay. And then I heard another story in Malaysia, how when her parents went over there, they went to a hotel room, and her dad woke up in the middle of the night and felt just a huge pressure, like something pushing down on him so hard. And then the next night he swapped beds with his wife, and then she experienced the same sensation.
Yeah, I mean, we stayed in York recently, and some of the stories we have from the owners and the people that look after the rooms is the same. Like, they have a spirit there that sometimes will move the blankets and touch people's feet. That's one of the stories we have there.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, if a hotel room is busy enough, and you know people frequent that spot and they die and pass away, just like James was saying before, they could remain in that location. So yeah, there's some of the interesting stories from hotels and that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I experienced when I was down in Bridgetown, we stayed in a really old cottage, and I just had an odd feeling the whole time we were there, like a really, really, like, it wasn't a nice feeling at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, caller. We have other callers on the line. We'll have to put that. Yeah, we have to put that to rest.
But thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you so
thank
much
you.
for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. That was good.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Just cut him off. All right, let's just go into the other one. Sorry, you guys all good?
Yeah.
all good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
No worries. Sorry.
Any more stories? And I heard this up.
Edit all this out.
I know he was. Hello, caller. You've called into the Discharge podcast. My name is Ra, and I'm here with the paranormal experts here. We got James and Caleb. What would you like to ask the guys?
Wow. Can I go first, or is Caleb going first?
I know. Yeah, whoever. Go for it. I know who this call is. I know who's speaking. Yep. Okay, go for it.
Well, okay. First of all, hi Ralph. How are you guys doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, I'm really curious about it, actually, to be fair, about the whole paranormal kind of like concept and everything. Because, well, my first question wanted to be like, what kind of like machines or devices do you guys use or like how can you tell and feel actually without, for now, this question is without devices and machines and stuff, like how can you feel just like through like energy and a presence? Like how can you tell, how do you know, how do you feel that there's like a paranormal presence or a ghost or a spirit like near you?
Yeah. James, do you want to go?
You go for it.
No, go for it.
You go for it.
Oh,
So-
they're shy all of a sudden. What's going on?
I mean, a lot of the time when we walk into a like an abandoned place or a place that you know we've booked to go to that's notoriously haunted, we have to try and push out all the stories that we've previously heard. Otherwise, your mind can play tricks on you. So before we go into a location, we try and have nothing in our minds, and we just kind of walk into a room. Me in particular, I'm not super sensitive to the spiritual side, so I'll always ask James or another one of our team members that come along with us. She's very sensitive to the paranormal as well. So I always ask them how they feel, what they're feeling, because me and a couple others that frequently go out with them, we might not feel the same vibes in the room. Sometimes rooms can feel heavy. Sometimes it's a bit harder to breathe. Sometimes there's like a funky smell, and you always have to be a bit skeptical about it and try and debunk it first. But so before we get any equipment out, we always try and have that conversation and just try and feel out to what's there.
Yeah, caller, do you have any funky smells in your house?
Cool. Do I? Me?
Yeah, you.
Funky smells. I mean, yeah, generally, quite often, yeah. Is that an indication?
Could be.
Yeah, James says could be, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it also could be like the smell of, I don't know, cooking or like shit or body odor or some shit, you know? I don't know. And like, also, so like, to be honest, I don't know what, like, I'm really curious about all of this because I don't really know my own, like, perspective on this. It's kind of like half skeptical, half I want to believe these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Because I've got friends and people that I know that have been through personal experiences where they're like 100% certain that they felt a spirit or a presence of like maybe a loved one or something like that. Me and a friend were talking about this just the other day, actually. And so, like, what would you guys say to kind of people like me that maybe like a little bit unsure, like, and like kind of, I guess, skeptical, but not, I wouldn't say skeptical. It's just that I've not experienced any of these kinds of things myself. So
Yeah, of course.
I would say always remain skeptical, but always have an open mind as well. So if you experience something, always, as Caleb says, debunk what's happened and find a logical explanation. But if you cannot genuinely find one, then you'll realize that what you've experienced is something that you can't explain, and that's something you should take with you and resonate with you, that you've had that experience. But always remain open-minded, and the more open-minded that you are, the more likely something may happen, is all I can say with that.
Yeah.
So
that's like,
but that could be like a manifestation thing, right? Like, because but would you want to manifest something like that? Like, that's unnerving though, in your home or wherever it is?
Well, for an example, like my mum, she very much is loves the paranormal, but she's also a little bit skeptical. So when she comes along to investigations, she will come in with an absolute closed mind. She'll be like, nothing's going to happen. I don't want anything to happen. Nothing's real. And you put that kind of energy out there, no matter if it's bad or good, they're not going to come forward because they can feel that you're not interested. But if you come in and you're protected and you do the right things about you, you're only going to bring in what you seek. So that is usually love, and that's all you're going to get back.
Yeah. And we've done videos with a few people that we've invited along that are skeptic. Some are 50-50, some are, they don't believe at all. And by the end of it, they're really involved in the investigations. They completely drop that wall of not believing, and they're almost as involved as we are, asking questions, using the equipment, trying to get answers. So, yeah, we come across that all the time.
Your first experience will always be the one that brings you back to... You'll always remember that feeling. It's something you can never forget. And you won't get it unless you open your mind to it. That's all I've got to say on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So, Caller, are you open to all of this stuff? Like, do you think that, like, obviously times has gone past and, like, you forget about things sometimes and all that jazz. Do you think that's something that you want to open up so that you can, like, get better at, like, sensing these types of things? Or what do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely not closed-minded to it. I'm not going to be absolute, like, outright, there's no such thing, it's not real, it's not a thing. Like, that's definitely not my perspective, because I like to think that I'm open-minded in most things. But yeah, and especially, like, I don't know, if there was like a way to experience it with members of my own, like, family, or people that I've loved. If I was to go to, like, a loved one's house of someone who sadly, like, passed away years ago or something like that, like, would I feel something? Would I sense something or something? I'd love to experience it, but it's just, sadly, I feel like I've not really had that so far. I'm definitely open-minded to it.
It all depends. It depends on spirits' intentions. Some spirits don't need to hang around. They will move on, and you'll never feel them again. And at other times of great stress, I find that my grandfather will come forward when usually he's not there. So it all depends on the situation that you're in and how much you want to sense that person. But if that person has moved on, then it's a little bit harder to, what's that word? Not permeate, like...
Bring them forward.
Forward kind of thing. But it's still definitely possible. I mean, there are mediums and psychics out there that are very talented in what they do to be able to bring those types of people forward. But, yeah, it just depends on the situation. Yeah.
Caller, I have to take other phone calls. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Oh, you got one.
You got so many more questions.
You got so many more questions. Okay, is there a couple that are like, are you dying to find out the answers for?
Yeah, just one really quickly. Sorry,
Go for it.
and then yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that's okay.
let you go. So the other question was about like the machines that you guys use or the devices and stuff.
Yep.
So like with I was thinking like with advancements in technology that it's 2026 now. Like, what is the most kind of like up to date piece of kit that you guys like use, and how does it work, and what does it do, or like kind of a sub question below that is are we close to any kind of like groundbreaking technology that will really be able to help you guys do what you do, or like, does that make sense?
Well, they've got a hexagon-shaped machine here, and it says Ghost Hunter on it. I think that needs to be lifted up here. Can you show the camera what exactly was going on? Is this one of the pieces that you're going to say? You're going to mention? Or?
So, I mean, we have a variety of different equipment that we use all the time. Some of them are very old school. Like, there's a couple of devices that we don't have that I really want to get that are basically voice recorders.
So what's the name of this device?
This one here that I'm holding is a REM pod, and basically when you flick it on, it has a field of like around the antenna, and if anything comes close to it, like you really have to get close to it, and it will light up and make a noise. So this has only gone off a very select few times, very very small amount.
It detects EMF.
Yeah, it detects the electromagnetic frequencies. So
okay, so it will detect like a human, like Okay,
so if I pop this on and pull the antenna up, so
caller, you need to see this.
if
Ghostbusters.
if someone comes up or something comes up and gets in the field, it lights up and it makes a sound.
Could you just put a little bit further up, like,
Yeah.
so the camera can see?
Like
Because that's cool. Yeah.
and then it lights up. So this device has only gone off like a handful of times, and it's one of the devices where if we are using like a bit of an app on our phone and it says a word or something comes through, we always try and use either the REM pod or a cat bowl to try and debunk or ask if that's true or not.
Okay, question though, because you said EMF, right? So that means like if somebody, like your phone, like if I were to go to sleep and then put my phone next to this is going to detect EMF radiation or whatever the hell that is coming from my phone, and this will go off.
Yeah.
Okay, so if my phone is, so this has probably got nothing to do with paranormal or anything. Now I'm worried about like brain cancers and shit. But like now, if I were to put my phone on like what's it, airplane mode, and put it next to it, is this shit going to go off?
No. So when we're doing our investigations, our phones are always either on airplane mode or off. We'll always double check. So with another device that I hold up here, so this is the EMF reader. So we won't turn it on now because there's a lot of electronics around us. But essentially, this will light up. It will stay at the green, and if more energy is around it or detects more energy, it will go all the way to red. So with our phones, as soon as it's near your pocket or near like your Apple Watch, it will light up because it will detect the electromagnetic frequencies from your watch or the phone. So we always make sure that our technology is off before we use this equipment.
Amazing.
Wow.
Thank you so much, caller, for calling in. Much appreciated. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So I've got a million more questions. I'd have to check you out.
Yeah,
sometime.
I'm so sorry.
Send a DM through or send an email through, and we're happy to answer any of your questions. We do a lot of demonstrations with the equipment that we use as well, so you can have a look.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Well, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time as well. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right. You guys cool? Everything's fine?
Yeah.
Was that the one that you told me about?
No. That's just no. Sorry.
Oh,
I was wondering what you were talking about because you were like, wait, where the fuck is
I
that?
was like, is that your friend? Like,
Yeah.
Because I was like, expecting the shit questions. So
No,
I was, like,
yeah,
on the
I know.
defensive. I was like, come on then.
No, I know. I did.
Ball.
Just get cat ball.
Yeah, no, I saw you. You were like, oh my god, cat ball. What the
Cat
fuck?
ball. Cat ball. Cat ball. You
All
had the
right.
accent to it.
Yeah.
Can I?
Can you do what? What did you want to do?
And adjust myself.
Okay, you can stand up and adjust yourself.
Get
He's
my
very conscious about something. I don't know what's he gonna do.
I'll get my top
Oh
down.
shit, he's unbuttoning his belt. Oh shit. Oh god.
Hello.
Hello, caller. What is your name and where are you calling from? And what would you like to ask the Paranormaltox guys here?
Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm from Two Rocks.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
Hi, I just want to know, when you're visiting these buildings and trying to find ghosts, Are these spirits stuck in those buildings, or are they? Is it just kind of like their essence and their memory that you're tuning into?
Good. We actually just spoke about that because I
Yeah.
asked the same thing. I was like, why would a spirit want to hang out in an abandoned building? Like, boring.
Yeah, are they trapped? Sorry, I didn't know you'd already had that question.
It's, as I was saying before, it's such a spectrum because you have some spirits who are trapped, who are unaware that they have died. There are spirits there who see the building or the place that they're in essentially as it was before they died, so they don't see, you know, the dilapidation and the abandonment. And then you just have spirit who come in and out as they please kind of thing. And then you have spirit who is not an intelligent, but it's more of a transient where they go about their day as if they were still alive. It's more like energy, not necessarily a spirit. So it all depends on what spirit you talk to. But a majority of the ones that we communicate with are people who are there before they died, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we try and ask questions about their lives and what they see and that sort of thing. And just think about the higher frequency places, so like hospitals and that sort of thing that we go to. There's so many people that go through there during a day that there's bound to be residual energy left over. So a lot of the energies that we get on some of our devices might just be someone's still stuck in their day, just walking through the halls, that sort of thing. We don't always get spirits that communicate fully, but then when we do, it makes that a bit more special.
Hey, Colin, did you have we had James that had sort of like picked up somebody's energy who called in over the phone. They were talking about somebody that had passed because they said, oh, there was a toy that goes off in the middle of the night and no one's playing with the toy because kids are gone to bed and blah, 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 blah. Now, James said he felt something at the back of his neck. I wasn't sure exactly, but he said, yeah, I could feel something. And then as soon as the lady said, oh, my grandfather, my children's grandfather, and then James was like, yes, that's exactly what I was feeling. I was just about to say it. Have you got any questions in regards to anyone that's passed or anything like that? And then maybe James can pick anything up.
Well, my father-in-law, we have a lot of his things from when he passed away, and we did have something happen once. One of the pictures we had hanging of his, he was a big Kiss fan. We put a lot of Kiss memorabilia. And, we had that fall down quite a few times. We don't hang it up anymore. Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know. Can they move things? Can they touch things? Can they...
Yeah, he's nodding. He's nodding.
I mean, a lot of the stuff we get when we have doors close and bangs and things could be poltergeist activity. We get that all the time. A lot of the videos that we've made, we've had, there's been doors closed, there's been bumps, there's been things fall. At the Fremantle Roundhouse, we had a rock thrown at one of the members that we were with. So they can definitely move things.
Did the frame that the is it a poster or is what kind of thing was it that came off the wall?
It was a poster that he had framed. So the first time it fell down, it did end up smashing, but we still hung it up without the glass.
Yeah, he didn't like that. He wants you to replace the frame.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Once you put the frame back up, it's going to be hard because I don't know exactly what kind of frame he wants, but did it have like a placard on the bottom of it?
I don't know, actually. I know. I'm not sure. I have to have a look at it.
Have a look and have the placard redone or done. It's something to do with the band members. That's what I'm getting. And change the frame because I have a feeling the frame just looked a bit cheap.
Oh,
you're right. It is. It is a cheap frame.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but
he's very much saying, that was my ultimate. You need to make it ultimate, and it won't come off the wall again once that's fixed.
So don't be such a stingy bitch.
It was his frame, but maybe it needs an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's what he meant, an upgrade. Yes. Have you got a Kmart? You don't want nothing from Kmart. What's that art department store in
IKEA?
I mean, okay. Does he want an IKEA? Can you ask him?
I can't ask him directly. No, it prefers Target, yeah.
Oh, he prefers Target.
Prefers gift cards.
I mean, if you want to send through a photo of the frame to our Instagram, we'll get James to have a look.
Yeah, I'll send it through.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that'd be awesome.
Thank you so much for that, caller. You have yourself a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God, that is so funny. I really put you on the spot there. You're like,
You really did, and I can't believe
you pulled that
and I
through.
actually
You
pulled
did
it.
it.
Wow.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Maybe
So
I'm
we've
not-
got one more call.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
not so bad after all.
You're doing your thing.
You're
locked
absolutely
in.
amazing.
I'm locked.
Hey, caller, sorry about that. I just had to make sure that everything was still recording. You've called into the Discharge podcast. I'm Ra, and I have here the Paranormaltox guys. We've got James and Caleb. What would you like to ask either of them?
Well, I just wanted to ask about, well, actually, not really a question. Oh, well, it's kind of a question. More like an experience that I had.
Yeah, go for it.
And then I don't know, I wanted to get their feedback.
Of course. Yeah,
They said go for it.
Okay, so it's a long time ago, it was many years ago. I was house sitting for a friend, and I was just me there on my own. And it was like a really old apartment. And everything seemed to go fine in the beginning. And then I think it was like the third day that I'd been there. I was like there for a week. And when I was sleeping, so it was like a single bed next to a doorway, and there was like a bit of light coming through the doorway. When I woke up in the middle of the night, and I could see in my peripheral vision at the end of the bed like a tall, dark figure, like man sort of thing, but it was in my peripheral vision. And then when I turned to face what it was, or to look further, I all of a sudden was held, like pinned down in my bed, like on my chest, and my head like pinned to the side, so I couldn't actually look at what it was. And for a few seconds, absolutely terrified. I remembered reading somewhere that you can tell them to leave you alone, and most times they will. When I screamed out, "Leave me alone," and all of a sudden it disappeared. Everything was gone. I could turn, I could move, all good. But for the next 3 days that I was at the house, I would come home, come back to the house, and there would be like all the bottles in the shower tipped over, like tipped off the ledge, but there's no open window or anything that could have blown it over. I had like sitting and putting my shoes on, something would brush past and knock my foot off of my leg, like crossing my leg, and it would knock my foot off, so I couldn't put my shoe on. Or there would be things moved in the kitchen, but there was no animals or anything, like nothing, no one else there. But yeah, and then I finished house sitting, left. She said she never experienced anything in the house before that.
Wow, that's really interesting.
But that's the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced, and I don't know whether like a tall dark figure is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever experienced anything like that again since then, or was it just that time you've had a paranormal experience like that?
Not since then, but when I was a kid, my mum, we lived in it was like an old house that had been built on multiple times, so it was like a segmented house, and she once laughed it off and put it down to like weird lighting or whatever, but she once saw me through the glass doors of our house and said that she saw a tall dark figure behind me.
Oh,
But I was a kid, so yeah. And then when this happened, I was talking to her about it, and she said again about what she had seen, or what she thought she'd seen. Never really thought anything more about it.
Yeah, that's a hard one, because you can't. Because usually you would put that down to the location as to where you were, like that kind of thing. But if it never happened to that, two very separate incidences. I mean, sometimes people could say that there could be, you can have guardian angels, but you can also have spirit who attach to somebody and you don't even know who they are and they don't know who you are. Sometimes, especially people who have a sensitive gift or that kind of thing, can attract those without realizing. From your explanation of your story, telling the spirit to go away, and then for the for the remainder of the time that you were in that home, it sounds as if those things that were happening was like retaliation of like, oh, how dare you tell me to go away? I'm trying to like da.
Yeah.
That's a very difficult one. Yeah.
Feeling like it was annoyed that I was there. Like I wasn't allowed to be.
You know, sometimes spirit can. I mean, let's say for example, this person who lives there normally doesn't feel anything because that spirit doesn't connect with them. But then spirit could connect with somebody else and show them up. Because recently I had an experience like that where I stayed in an Airbnb in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago and we had some terrifying experiences. And I asked the owner, she went, no, that's never happened here before. So it's almost as if you could bring something in possibly at the same time. But yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I've got no answer for you, but it's interesting.
It's terrifying at the same time.
I mean, at least it's not an answer that, something's
following
me.
Yes, yeah.
I think James is stumped on this one because you were like, oh, it's a tall, dark figure. And he was like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah, what's his number?
but not because I never really got to see it. And my mum she didn't really see it. She sort of like second guessed it. And by that time it was gone. Except that she described it as a tall, dark man-like figure.
Okay, you said something, the mum, and you did a little hand thing with your man. What were you saying about the mum?
I'm just getting a bit of a, not like a feeling, but like a, it's hard to explain. I just kind of feel like perhaps, I don't want to like make assumptions, but the mother may have something to do with maybe gift-wise or something, and I think this man may be family related in the way distant past, but I'm getting drips and drabs. It's not a lot of info, but I could be completely off track here. But
okay, so something that that the caller's mum has,
possibly,
she could be gifted with something, and then this entity is like sort of like followed her or like being around her, and it's like just
the
latching
entity
onto other people.
wants attention and needs to say something. Because a lot of the times when spirit does that, when they knock things over, it's a lot of times it's to be a nuisance, but also it's because they're trying to get your attention to be like, I'm here, I need to tell you something, or something's going to happen, like that type of thing.
Thank you guys so much for taking these phone calls like that.
No,
just like on the fly, not even being prepared. But you guys did amazing.
We're like paranormal agony ants. Call us with your issues and we'll sort you out.
Hey, that might actually have to be a thing.
Start a hotline.
Segment.
A little segment with you guys being like, oh my god, you guys are freaks. Okay, so we definitely need to go on with the show for sure. But see, what is great is that a lot of people asked the questions that I was going to ask anyway, and I think it was better in those types of like story forms so that we can get like a more authentic like response from you guys. I think that's cool. And I think that now from you guys showcasing or getting these answers, then it can showcase like what you guys bring to this duo. So I can see that you come here with the gadgets and this more like a idea of like this like a tech savvy way into understanding what these entities are, and then you're coming with a spiritual side. Like obviously you're able to understand what some certain aspects of that, but like you're coming with another side of it that you haven't quite like tapped into somewhat, I would imagine.
There's been times where I've tried to tap into that spiritual side, like during the like Estes method. I really let myself, which I'll explain what the Estes method is shortly, but I really let myself kind of fall into the trance and try and see if I can connect with anything. And a couple of times I've said to James, "Oh, there's someone standing over there," and then James will be like, "Yeah, there's something over there, like fits that description exactly." And like with the Estes method, so you're basically in like a sensory deprivation state. You've got noise cancelling headphones on, you're blindfolded, and you've got a cable connected straight to the spirit box, and all you're doing is just listening to the spirit box and repeating words. So if you hear a word pop up in the spirit box, you just say it out loud, and the other team members are around you asking the questions, and there's been too many times where it's kind of flowed perfectly.
Okay, so the spirit is talking through you. Is this something similar to like a Ouija then?
No,
No.
no. It's so what the spirit box does is it runs through frequencies of the radio very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they say that spirit can communicate through white noise. So essentially, the device creates white noise. So he's under. All he hears is like static, and every now and then a word will come through. And sometimes you can be like, well, that was an advert, or it was, because you're still scanning radio stations. But when you're standing there and you're asking the question out loud, for example, when we were in York and you're on the stage, I was having a conversation and saying, whereabouts are you in the room? And it would be silent. And then suddenly he would go, upstairs. He can't hear the questions I'm asking. He's got noise-cancelling headphones on and a blindfold and pitch black. He's got no idea what I'm asking. So that was kind of conversation just kept. We were ebbing and flowing with this spirit.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he'll start talking gibberish, and then I'll know that spirit's gone because it no longer makes sense.
Okay, so exactly what are you hearing then?
So it's literally what James just said. It's just like it's white noise coming through. It's just like the same thing, and occasionally you'll hear like just a word come through, and I just try and repeat everything that I hear come through. So some of the time it will be like an advertisement or like a radio presenter saying something, but then occasionally you will just get a word. So if James is asking a question, how many people are there? Or can you tell us how many people in the room? And a lot of the time it will say, like in York, for example, we had 5 of us. It said 5 multiple times, like 5 people in the room.
Okay, what are your feelings when you're like repeating these types of words? Because then I would assume that then that this is not coming from an advert potentially. Like this is coming from a spirit.
You're a bit attuned to it now, aren't you? A bit like, well, another word.
Well, at first it was daunting, because all you're listening to is the static. And I think we do it for maybe 10 or 15 minutes with someone sitting there with it on, just trying to, because essentially you're trying to enter a bit of a trance. You're like just listening, you're blindfolded, all you can hear is the static. And sometimes, like in New York especially, you could feel like things were behind you, almost like kind of trying to tell you things. It's not till after you take the headphones off you realize how long you've actually been sitting there, and then seeing everyone's faces around you, you're like, oh, I've obviously said some stuff that connects to what they were asking. And yeah, like the York stuff, which is coming out in June, the Estes methods we did in the town hall especially were
Bang on, really.
were crazy. Yeah, especially with what I was saying with the spiritual stuff compared to, so yeah, I'm more science based with wanting to use the equipment, where James is more spiritual. There was a part where I was sitting on the stage looking up towards like the gallery part, and I said to James, I'm like, there's someone standing in the doorway up there, and one of our friends, Jets, was sitting up there, and James was like, yeah, there's a man with a top hat right near Jet. And like, obviously I've got everything on, I didn't hear that. Watching the footage back, seeing your face, being like, yeah, there's someone up there, there's someone standing there. That was pretty crazy.
And in him saying that as well, everybody is born with a certain gift to the spiritual realm. You just have to work on it. That's it. You could start tapping into it now and being able to see things like, everyone can sense and see these types of things if, like I say, your mind is open and you want it.
Okay. Now, moving on to an experience that I was able to join in on. We're able to disclose like the locations and stuff like that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you're not a criminal if you go inside an abandoned building or a place that's, I don't know.
It depends.
If you get
It
caught.
depends. If if you're physically breaking in and you're cutting fences and no one knows you're in there, then that's illegal. You're breaking the law.
Okay.
In this instance, that's not what it was. We won't discuss what it was.
Okay.
But it wasn't that. We had permission, and that was it.
With this particular abandoned location, very like creepy looking aesthetic, like obviously debris everywhere and graffiti and yeah. I have to admit, going in there, I was quite surprised that I personally felt quite calm going in there. I don't know if there was a preparation that had taken place, my preparation that I had done before me entering it, made me feel more relaxed, like walking through an abandoned like lot. But why are people more? Why would that place in particular, this hospital, why would that be a place or source for people to go and have like paranormal experiences at that particular one? Why is it so important?
Well, it's like what you mentioned before, those types of places, hospitals, morgues, well, maybe not morgues, but, crematoriums,
shopping
sometimes
centres
shopping centres,
yeah.
sometimes cemeteries. They're full of activity when they were open, when they were, had people coming through. And then you add in the death aspect of people who died every day in those buildings. And as I said, some people don't realise that they died. Or you have people there who loved what they did and working where they worked, and they stay behind because they like to look after the place, which is most of the spirit that was in that building that you and I went to was mostly spirit who liked to be there and was watching over the place. There's only a couple of dead folk in that sense, but that's why you would go somewhere where it's full of, it would have been a hive of activity of normal go-to-goes when it was open.
Yeah.
Because that energy, they call it the Stonewall theory, and that's brick and mortar can absorb energies if you go about it all the time, and even if you have like something horrific happens, or it's said that the stone can absorb the energy. So then it's just going to continue to push it out because that stone has it locked. So if you go somewhere that's consistently always been a hive of activity when it was open, you're going to have that. Where's that activity going to go?
Yeah.
Until you knock that building down, and even sometimes that doesn't work. But when you knock that building down, until you do, it's going to be there. It's got nowhere to go. You know?
So a place like Greylands would have a lot of activity. Like currently, while it's like having like people in there, but imagine if they weren't there.
Well, the renovations they're doing there right now, you can find stories on like Reddit and things of some of the construction workers, what they're experiencing there at the moment.
Okay.
Some of it's it sounds pretty legit, pretty haunted, especially if a lot of them are experiencing
What
that.
are they experiencing? Do you know any of the top of your head?
Tools being moved, going missing, doors opening, closing, lights turning off, that sort of thing. Just stuff they're not expecting. And obviously these are, tradies. A lot of them are big, strong men. They're not liking working there. So
Do you know what it is though? In terms of that, spirit hate renovation. They hate anything that is different to what it was when they were alive.
Yep.
Because it's what they know. So that's why, especially in the one that we went to, how dilapidated and covered in debris it was, these spirits will be pissed off. Oh, can I swear?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So these spirits are angry. They're like, why has this place not been looked after? These kids are coming in and smashing windows. And that's what riles the energy up even more. And you get spirit who wouldn't normally say anything or do anything come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and be present because they're not happy that things are going on. But renovations,
yeah, and
fucking hate
the
that.
graffiti at some of these abandoned places too. Like people might not know, but when they're going there and they're drawing the demonic stuff, they're doing all the symbols and things as a joke. That can bring things forward. And
I never really believed that until we were in the basement of this place, and it had a lot of pentagrams and
The basement of the hospital?
hospital. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know that had a basement.
Me neither.
yeah,
Okay.
Until
we went.
Mr. Caleb
So
here.
that would have been interesting then.
And there was a lot of pentagrams that they can go either way, but when you're drawing them, demonically with the 666 on it and that kind of thing, what they experienced down in that basement purely stemmed from the fact that these portals of graffiti were drawn, and that's these energies are coming through those portals.
yeah.
So that's
Whoa.
yeah.
Like you said, it's like
Set your
we're
intention.
manifesting these people going and graffitiing all these, strange demonic things, are manifesting things to come forward that aren't friendly.
Okay, so then, like, say somebody who is like ultra Christian, and they would like what you're telling me now, like you're saying, like, writing pentagrams and all that kind of stuff like that. It's gonna, it could invoke like the wrong kind of spirit,
Yep.
or portals per se. Now, what if though a person who's like ultra Christian were to hear what you guys do and say that it's just as bad as somebody that's doing a pentagram, writing a pentagram and then like doing a Hail Satan and all this kind of bullshit?
Yeah.
What would you guys say to that though?
We get that a lot, or especially a lot of my comments and DMs and from people from all sorts of different religions. And we are in our investigations are very respectful when it comes to religious terms. We try not to, we try not to bring those conversations in, even though some people ask for it or some people tell us not to. We try not to bring it in just because we don't want to cross that line. But a lot of the time, I will get messages from people saying, you need to seek Jesus, you need to stop doing this, you need to go repent or get a Bible and be careful, that sort of thing. I just have to thank them for worrying and just, I do what I do, they do what they do, because I'm not a religious person. I've got people in my family that are quite religious and they say the same. They're saying I'm putting myself in danger and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's that whole religious crossover with paranormal. It's a hard line to cross. Yeah, we try and avoid it.
I mean, Jason, because you pray before you start any of your investigations.
We try to where we remember.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's good and bad in the world, or no matter whether you're doing paranormal or not. You could say Christianity for that kind of thing. But I always will do non-denomination prayers. If you want to join in, you can join in. I recommend people always join in. If you have your own religion you want to go to, you can do that. But use it as a secondary base for yourself. Always be involved in the ones that we do as a team. And then obviously my friend Jet, he believes he's Christian as well. He always carries rosary and he'll wander off after the initial prayer and do his own prayer. But yeah, we always open and close, and we always say you can't follow us, and we don't want anything negative. And if anything negative starts, we back away, and you tell the spirit we're not interested, and it usually works. And our friend Tegan, who's also part of the team, she's another sensitive. She's very high energy on the protection as well. She makes protection bracelets for Caleb and I, and when we wear them, the spirits do not come near us. So we've had to take them off several times just to get some communication because. Yeah.
So what's she doing with them that
we'd like to know? She won't tell
Yeah.
us.
I think it's to do with some of the so it's like literally like a little friendship bracelets with just like our names and then safe on it, and
scripted,
we think the Y or whatever, like the bracelet part is like sage or something like that, and then she sprayed it and cleansed it.
And then she prays on it and calls upon like her type of angels. Even though I'm not religious, I will still call upon an angel. Archangel Michael is my go-to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Protector. So with me not being religious, in that time I really focus on James's words, but I always try and I'm not sure of who my guardian spirits are, but I always try and call them forward and see if they'll look out for me.
Yeah.
In that time.
Because you said that sometimes you forget. Okay, so is there times that you're very quick to remember when you feel something attached to it and you're like, oh shit.
There's been a couple of times where we've been so keen to start an investigation and so excited we've just literally gone in and started.
Yeah.
And something bad has happened and he'll go, shit, you didn't do the prayer. I'll go, it's too late now, but usually we'll go, right, get in a circle, let's start now, and we'll close it first and we'll come back in and reopen it. You never know what you're bringing forward.
Yeah, really. We did a trip to Swan View Tunnel recently, and I think we're about 30 minutes in, we're in the middle of the tunnel, we're hearing things kind of like walk or make noises coming towards us, and then James looked at me and he's like, I didn't pray.
And
we're like,
I didn't see it as like, usually I like to base it on major investigations. This was just like a pop in, so I was like, nothing's gonna happen. No, something does happen, so you've always got to be protected, no matter who you believe in.
Are there any other things that you guys have to worry about other than like spirits attaching to you? I would imagine things like chemicals or like asbestos or things like that. Do you guys have to be careful? Yes,
I always say the living is scarier than the dead.
Yeah,
because in a lot of these places, we don't go to many abandoned places, but the ones that we do, you got to look for things like squatters, people who are causing a ruckus, kids, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And they can get violent real quick. But yeah, I mean, you know from firsthand in that hospital how bad that was. I was coughing the lung up the next day, the asbestos and falling on brick and roofing. Like, we were doing some pretty stupid shit to get to these corridors and places, and I really regret that we did some of those things because it was real dangerous. But yeah, there's a lot of hazards that are not just spirits. Too much.
At that hospital as well, my first time there, I thought someone had walked to the right and everyone went down the corridor to the left. And I was in this room kind of doing a little bit of an intro on the camera, and I turned and there's a guy standing there, and he wasn't part of our group. And he was just a scrapper that came in and was getting materials. And I quickly realized that that was just a complete stranger. The group's down the hallway, and I've got a camera, I've got, equipment, I've got a bag, all my valuables on me. So I just said, "Hey, how you going?" He said, "Hey," and I quickly turned and went back to where the group was. And if that guy just snuck up behind me where I've got my light in my face with the camera, anything could happen. And they were down the hallway. So that is, like you said, the living are more dangerous than the dead sometimes. And if that guy wanted to do hurt me, he probably could.
Happen. Yeah.
But I will say Caleb is very much gets a little bit of an ego boost when he's on his own and he thinks he can take the world on, and he wanders off. And we'll always go, "Caleb, come back. Caleb, come here." And he will not follow us. So that's your undoing. You need to listen more. That's the whole reason we are a group.
But some of the time I do like doing little intro bits. Little side quests, little bits to camera.
He needs to work on his communication so we know where you are. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just get into some other questions that people have asked?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to read them out. And
because we got like half an hour left in here.
Yeah, we don't have too much time. But James is like, "Oh my God, I don't want it to end."
I'm having so much fun. I love this
awkward
stuff.
At the start. I didn't want to do this.
He was so awkward. He didn't even want to do it. He's like, "Oh, can we cancel? Oh, come on. Okay, Caleb, can you just do it for me, please?"
Yeah. Now look at me going, I'm a star.
Okay, so I've got a question here from Charlotte, who asked, "Do spirits scare you sometimes? #jump scare."
Oh my God, I'm petrified a lot of the times. I'm always scared. I always go in being scared because then it's like expect the unexpected all the time.
Well, fear keeps you alive at the end of the day. If you're going into these places just
willy-nilly.
Yeah, willy-nilly, causing a ruckus, like James said, I get a bit of an ego sometimes. If I went too far that direction, like anything could happen to me. So it's good to have some sort of fear.
Yeah, no, I am petrified. There's a lot of times that I'll look down a dark tunnel and I'll go, "You go first."
Yeah.
No, I'm not going first. And then,
James will just push me.
I will push him.
Yeah.
Because I'm petrified.
Bulla Talia Hunker, who asked, "Is it true that you feel cold areas in a space where ghost is present?"
Yes.
Yeah. In that hospital, one of the times we went, it was humid, very warm, and then
hot.
through some of the rooms, or you would just get like a rush of cold, and then it would just be hot again. Like that was a good example.
Because really, when you think about it, they're dead. So what you're feeling is essentially dead air.
Yeah.
And that's when you know. It doesn't always happen, but when you get a cold spot, it's amazing because it just rushes in this very small spot and you're freezing cold and you cannot explain it. And then you back away and you go back and it's gone.
Ariana Koskela asked, "Is believing in astrology the same as believing in paranormal activity?"
I think being spirit. There's a connection to being spiritual, and Tegan, one of our group members, has told me I need some more protection for, certain things. So I've looked into my star sign. I've looked into all that stuff, and then I've got myself some crystals, that sort of thing, just for protection. So I mean, there's a connection.
There is a connection. I'd say astrology is very much, it makes the world go around, and in turn would make spirituality go around as well, and that kind of thing. I would say there was a connection.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a major one. Like if you were to really believe in astrology, you wouldn't necessarily turn around and say, "Oh, I believe in spirit too." It's like if I believe in spirit, I don't necessarily believe in astrology.
Yeah.
But it depends. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Keenan Edit asked, "Do they attach themselves to people after, or do ghosts attach themselves to people after ghost tours?"
Yes, they do. They can, which is why prayers and protections are very important in closing. There are a lot of stories where we've had people who have been either on a hunt with us or even the members of the team, and we've gone home and there's been a very horrible presence that wasn't there before, and it's turned out to be a spirit that's decided to follow you home.
Yeah. Not to plug my TikTok, but on my pinned videos, I have the kind of next morning after an attachment is attached to me and caused a bit of chaos in our group at the hospital. The hospital.
Thankfully, the attachment stayed at the hospital because we all, Tegan and I, clocked what he had, and his attachment then spread between Tegan and I, and we were ready to kill each other for no reason.
That whole group.
It was
a lot.
extreme.
Whoa.
So,
Okay, what?
Yeah, it's one of the
like, took over your
videos.
personalities and made you like agitated?
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
like an oppression. Like a dark cloud just came over us, and we were all fine, and then everything was just really getting to us. Like,
Yeah.
little things that you were saying, I was like, oh, you're really pissing me off. Don't know why it was pissing me off. Then we got out the building, and it was getting worse, and I was feeling it ramping. And Tegan looked at me, and she went, "He's got." I said, "I know." I said, "She goes, I've got." I said, "I know." She goes, "Yeah." I said, "I know." And then we had to sage and really be like, "Get off of us," and then it did leave. But we were ready to. Well, I was ready to strangle him for no reason.
It was like the video was very confronting to edit because we're a group of friends. There was 5 of us there. We were just bantering, having a good chat, and then all of a sudden, the little banter, or little bickering that we did as a joke was very serious. Some of the things we said to each other was not very nice, and the last bit of the hospital that we were in, it was just arguing nonstop, and I had to cut a lot of that stuff out because it was too much. Yeah.
Lord_Tobith20. Is it offensive to spirits to say passes it to Caspar, the ghost, when a player kicks to no one?
Is this like one of those Adele questions where it's like when she goes, "Would you go to 2? Would you 3, 4, 6, 7?"
Keep that in.
I think I'd skip that question. I'm not too sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
Another one from Adriana Koskela. When could you first notice that you could sense something? Yeah, sense some spirits.
Well, actually, recently I was talking to my mum about it. I think it was around when I was about 3 or 4. And I specifically remember a man used to stand at the top of our stairs when I lived in England. And I always just thought it was an imaginary friend and whatnot, but it's starting to click now that it wasn't. And as time went on, I was starting to really see things that I shouldn't be seeing. There were, women that I've never seen before in my nana's bedroom, and people standing by the side of the bed. A bit like that scene in Sixth Sense when he lifts the cover. Yeah, it was a bit like that. And then as I got into my teenage years, it kind of dampened a little bit, and then it ramped back up again. And then I started seeing things too much. But yeah, about 3 or 4 started seeing things.
Yeah, mine was a bit different. I mean, my family have always been open with that sort of thing. Mum used to mess with Ouija boards in my grandparents' house that I ended up moving into when I was in my mid-teens. Then I had a few experiences there that kind of shook me a little bit and made me more of a believer. But yeah, I think everyone has a story that kind of sticks with them.
Yeah, your first time's always the...
Oh, the most memorable. I think you guys kind of answered this one. Salvador Bali had asked, what makes a spirit stay and not cross over? Kind of did...
again, depends. Big spectrum of things.
Okay.
Yeah, could be their choice.
Oh, there's just one more here. Anita_man_in_me_67.
Why did I knew it was going to be so?
Will Dockers beat Essendon?
Yes, they will.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
pretty
you
easy.
know what? I'm not going to stake my career on it. I would, let's just say yeah. And if they do, that person pays me $100. That's just straight up.
Anita_man_in_me_67.
Girls, same. Same. I'll meet you halfway.
Can we just quickly talk over all the
course.
gadgets that you guys got here? And could you pick them up for the camera just so then everyone can see, and just tell the people watching, and then also if you could describe exactly what it is and the name.
Yeah. So this is the Spirit Box. So there's a lot of different versions of the Spirit Box, but this one is the PSB7. This basically just scans through radio waves, like we were explaining before with the Estes method. It's just white noise scanning, and then every so often a spirit can put energy into a word or phrase, and you can hear it come through. Some of the time, if you're asking questions, you might get a word or phrase. It's good to use some other equipment to confirm. But yeah, we use this with the Estes method. We use this just off the speaker, and it's pretty chilling when you kind of hear things.
I think the most famous way that got promoted was from Ghost Adventures, because they got some great stuff on that type of spirit box. And it is a good piece of equipment when you get those voices that you never thought you'd get.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people that follow paranormal will see the spirit box with the SS method through
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Colby and those sorts of creators.
And a lot of the times, it is actually their voice. It's the spirit's voice. It's not them manipulating words from a radio. It is their voice.
yeah, because you'll hear like the advertising and the like presenters.
And very distinctive, sometimes sentences you do get. Yeah.
It'll be just like a completely different voice just come through, and it'll be like yeah, you get chills at the moment, but. Yeah, I really like using Spirit Box. It's one of my favorite things to use.
Just very quickly, so nothing has come through to tell you about what it's like in the afterlife?
A couple of people have asked me to talk about like the afterlife with spirits. And in one that I did alone recently, I did try and drive the questions to that using Spirit Box and some other equipment. And I got some weird answers that I'm going to have to listen back to actually see how they fit, because I was kind of nervous being in this place by myself. But yeah, like a lot of the afterlife questions either get ignored or you get answers relating to the afterlife. Like,
I mean, technically, if you think about it, if they're in the afterlife, why would they be down here?
well, there's a lot of different theories about
Exactly.
that.
There's a lot of different afterlives.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're up in heaven and you're enjoying yourself, why the hell would you want to come back down here and tell us
Yeah.
all about it?
I mean, I
Exactly.
think even in the Bible, like they do, say, like I think there are, like what's it called, like the lamentation, no lemon. I don't know. There are those different spectrums.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
in between.
Yeah,
Like limbo and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
yeah,
wouldn't
like
like
purgatory and
yeah, purgatory.
all these
Like, I
things,
wouldn't
yeah.
like I say, some of them don't realize that they're dead.
Mm.
They're just like, why are you here?
Because even like Seventh Heaven, isn't that part like just not the TV show?
I was
but,
going to say the TV show.
Yeah.
God, I hated that show.
but like, isn't that got to do with something like that's reference to the Bible? And I'm
Pretty
not sure.
it is. Yeah. Not 100% sure, no, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've asked a few times about afterlife, about heaven, about hell, that sort of thing. And
What about Jesus?
It's never come up in conversation.
no,
No, it's not something we'd usually go to.
Not really, no.
Because we try to keep the religious things out of it.
Okay.
We don't purposely go and ask, about specific figures, but I will ask about like the afterlife and that sort of thing, just to see. Just I don't know if it's like a comfort thing for myself, but I'm just curious to see like.
Because you
where
want to
people
know,
are.
it's like that niggling feel. You want to know, do I see my grandparents when I go? Do I see everyone that I want to
Yeah.
see when I go?
For sure. Now, what if I wanted to go there and I wanted to rebuke spirits or do an exorcism and then tell the spirits to go to heaven or go to hell or go to the oblivion or something like that? Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, because then I'm trying to my efforts are trying to clear out the space. Would you guys, as
Again-
paranormal,
Do you know, it
enthusiasts, would that make
it'll
sense?
go back to the spectrum again. They might not want to.
Yeah. They might be
They
happy
may
here.
be so happy that they're still doing what they're doing. But then you do have spirit who is ready to move on and they're unsure of how to move on because
Yeah.
some of them, for example, let's say there's a child spirit and a mother spirit, but they don't meet each other because they're lost in time. They can't find each other. That's why they're there. So if you had, say, a spiritual medium who can connect the two of them together and say, look, I found you guys.
Yeah.
Please move on. 9 times out of 10 they do. They go towards the light, the ethereal light. But a lot of them have chosen not to.
Yeah. And we will
So it
ask if there's
depends.
anything we can do to help.
And they always say no.
Yeah.
They just
A
tell
lot
us
of-
to fuck off, really.
Yeah.
All right. So they're just down to hang out. Just,
They
chill and they'll
give
talk.
us 20 minutes of their time and then go off and do what spirits do.
Okay, sound pretty cool.
But I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. Let me know how you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, wouldn't that then defeat the purpose of the investigation? Because what happens if I'm going there and I'm just like, okay, guys, go to whatever realm that is best for you or where you came from, go back to it, and then the everything's clear.
That's why you ask. If you've been invited somewhere and you say, look, if I get in contact with that spirit and I can move them on, do you want me to move them on? And people go, no, they mean no harm. But things that do mean people harm, they're like, yes, get rid of it. And they're happy to do that. But that's why you always ask first. Because I would hate to know that my house is haunted by a beautiful ghost and someone comes in and went, oh, I sent them on. The fuck do you mean you sent them on? So, yeah. Depends.
Now Gary as a demon comes in and
Yeah, bloody Gary. Yeah.
Okay, now future plans for Paranormal Talks.
Oh, we have got a lot on the horizon.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean,
Okay.
the
Too much.
most
What's
most
happening?
prominent is June 4th. We're doing a live show. Tickets will be going on sale very shortly.
3 Oz chicks with lyrics underground.
Yeah, and
What's happening on the show?
So we're basically going to be telling our stories, where it all started, our spookiest story, and then we're going to ask some audience members to come up and share their stories. So I've got someone that is not one of us going to be looking through some of the stories and bringing some people up, and we're going to be live reacting to the scary stuff people say. And then we're going to take some questions from the audience. So essentially it's a live podcast, but we just want to get more involved with the community of like the paranormal community in Perth, because there's a lot of people out there, and we just want to meet them all.
Yeah.
We also do have, we have a lot more things coming up. We've got a lot of locations planned for the year.
Yes.
Some of them are for the next, I don't know, and before the end of the year, we've got some regional locations, possibly some interstate locations that we're going to for investigations.
Yep.
And we've got our York videos coming up on the YouTube channel from June.
Yeah, so started first Saturday in June, and then first Saturday in July. We're going to be posting the York videos, which have, there's a lot of insane paranormal activity in those, and they've taken quite a long time to edit and put out, but we're trying to refine everything that we're putting out because we want to show just everything we can. So,
and that was a full weekend of investigation that in York, so it is really good videos. And we have a lot of other stuff that we're not going to talk about yet, but we have a lot of things running in the middle in the background as well to do with paranormal communities and connecting and that kind of thing. So there's a lot coming up with Paranormal Talks.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Now, is there a place in particular that you guys, it's like a must go to? I gotta know.
we can
I
talk
gotta
about
know.
this for hours.
Okay.
Are we
Just
talking
one place, though.
Australia or worldwide?
Okay, one in Australia and then one worldwide.
All right, I'll go with my worldwide one. That would be Waverly Hills Sanatorium in the US, in Kentucky.
Yeah.
That is my ultimate.
Okay.
The all tuberculosis sanatorium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check it out on the YouTubes.
It's crazy. It's
fantastic.
huge.
Yeah.
Really?
Investigators go in there for like the time slots they're allowed to, and they will see like a quarter of it. It's a massive place.
It's amazing.
Okay, and a lot of crazy stuff always happens,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yes.
suppose. Okay.
I'm gonna say either the Winchester House or the Villisca Axe Murder House, both in America. Both those places are just every time you look over the history of it, you find something new. It's, very, very insane.
Okay.
And I would say for Australia, that one in Melbourne, what is it?
Arat,
Or Arradale?
Arradale or Beechworth.
Or Beechworth
Yeah.
Asylums. They're both asylums, are they?
Yeah. They're
Anything to do with
huge.
asylums, I'm there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
But
one
they're not
definitely.
abandoned like these running.
Not
or-
like a hospital like we
Okay.
went to,
Yeah.
but they're like operated.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're allowed to
Yeah.
to do it.
They have like security on site, but they're everything's basically left as it was. So you go into the rooms and there's
So
the beds.
there's like self-guided tours and stuff.
Yeah.
You can do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, a message to skeptics. What would you guys like to say to those non-believers?
I mean, it's healthy to be a skeptic. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not 100% a believer. There's still part of me that's skeptical of some things that happen, and it's good to try and debunk. It's good to try and disprove what happens, because if you can't explain, then it means a lot more.
That's
so
the satisfying part of it.
yeah.
As I said, sorry, you go on.
There's like friends that will bring along that, like I said earlier, that will be like maybe like 80-20, so 80% skeptic, 20% believer, and by the end they're flipped. So it's healthy to have that skepticism. You don't believe everything you see, but
because if you were to bring a whole bunch of believers in, everything that happens would be paranormal, and
Yeah.
that's just not the case.
people will go crazy.
So it is healthy to have skepticism and debunkification.
Yeah.
I would say, like I said before, keep an open mind. If you don't want to believe in it, then that's fine. Don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And if you want to, just keep an open mind.
And there's people that comment on my videos, and I'll do like a little bit of an explanation video in response to them, and then they'll ask for more evidence. I'll send it, and then they'll send me a DM straight away saying, "I'm sorry, didn't mean to message you that. Like, thank you for explaining." So, like, yeah, it's always fun to have skeptics reach out. Well, yeah.
And can I get you guys to give us your social media plugs? Like, just tell us how people can reach you guys, where they could follow you guys, the website, everything like that. Which I actually didn't even realize you guys had a website. When I had a look at it, I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, neither did I. I didn't know either. So this is all brand new.
I
This is
sent
all
it to
brand
you a
new for
bunch.
me.
Yeah, so it's paranormaltox.com. Eventually it's going to be like all of our stories on there, but at the moment it's just like a bit of a video diary. Eventually when we get some like events like the one on the 4th, that's going to be posted on there too. There's some merch and things on there too.
Some cool merch. I'm wearing some merch now. It doesn't fit me, but I'm wearing some merch.
Yeah.
It says Paranormal Talks on the back.
But yeah, I got Paranormal Talks across all social medias. So we TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah, wherever you think I am, I'm probably there.
And I've got a separate one that I upload little cheeky, behind the scenes stuff, and that is at the Haunt Protocol on the TikToks and the Grams.
Yeah.
Ooh, the grams.
Yeah.
The plural.
Couple grams.
The grams.
Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I'm so happy that you guys came through and you guys had callers, and that was wicked. That was really
thank
fun.
you so much for having us.
Thank
I
you for
really
having
appreciate
us.
that.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Discharge Podcast. I'm your host, Prince Rara, and a massive thank you again to James and Caleb from Paranormal Talks for joining us and sharing their experiences from the paranormal world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay spooky.
6